do Manukau need to do to, I guess, try and turn it around in the second?
I think that they just need their halves to take a little bit more control and show some direction out on the field. They're running the ball up the middle quite well, but they just need a little bit more direction for where they should be going.
And if you are just joining us, we're very lucky and pleased to have Maddie Bartlett join us in commentary, a current member of the Kiwi Ferns squad, building towards that World Cup at the end of the year. And we were earlier joined as well by Georgia Hale from the Richmond Roses and Kiwi Ferns. And Georgia, of course, is going to be in action in about an hour's time, I think, when Richmond kick off against Manurewa. So really looking forward to that clash as well. So lucky to have the ladies in commentary with us, adding their expert analysis and I guess unique outlook on the game, given that they share the field with these ladies and know what it's all about. So welcome back to Troy Hardy as well. And Troy, the rain stopped for a little while here, but this field really starting to chew up now. It's going to be a massive forward effort from the Manukau girls if they're going to get back in the second half.
And just listen to the head coach over there. They're wanting a wee bit of self-belief, some communication. We touched on that earlier. And the communication was encouragement. When they're taking the ball up, to drag the players through with them, to make sure the support's there and that they're offloading and, you know, building momentum. PtChevVManukau, main key point out of theirs was to complete their sets of 6 and to keep driving forward. I think they've got the momentum and they basically, you know, want to keep that intensity up for the next half.
And look, to be fair to the Manukau girls, they didn't have a lot go their way in the first half, but they started the second really positively early. They've gone pretty well 35 metres straight from the kickoff, and now a chance to end this set on a high, and it looks like they're going to spread it out towards the right. So good to see a little bit of leadership in the playmaking states there from the Magpies, but on that occasion going to be held up. And while that might look like a kind of weak end to the set, Maddie, it's probably more of a positive than just a one-out run or something. Yeah,
no, definitely. They had some good passes stringing along there and definitely improved from what we saw at the back end of the last half. Looks like they've just come up with an error too, so they've got the ball back ready for another attack at the line.
So here we go. Can the Magpies turn it around? Nothing better than a good start to the second half, build a little bit of confidence. And Troy mentioned at half-time the focus was all around confidence, and it is hard to, I guess, keep making those little extra efforts when you're getting well beaten in the middle of the park. But hopefully the Manukau girls can get some points on the board here and start to turn this one around a little bit. To their credit, PtChev have been really good defensively. We highlighted it in the first half, really organised on their line defensively, and coming out of yardage they really did not give Manukau a lot. Manukau spent a lot of that game sort of trying to get out of their own half. So Manukau now with the loose head and feeds, and probably about 10 metres off their line, just to the right of the SportSafe bolsters. And a big shout out to SportSafe, sponsors of the Auckland Rugby League through their Gym Leader brand. A big thank you for their support. Of course, they run the annual ARL Auckland Nines, which is a key part of the Auckland Rugby League calendar these days. So big thank you to them for their support. And of course all the other sponsors across the Auckland Rugby League, the likes of SAS, Crown Lift Trucks, Konaka Minolta sponsoring the Roop. It's fantastic to have you guys all on board, and trust that you've been enjoying the live streamed action this year. Back to the play now, and it is hard to make out those numbers on the back of the Manukau shirts, but we've got the halfback passing out of the bottom of the ruck here. Big front rower just looming on the edges there, not what the centre and winger wanted to see at that point, but well done by the Pirates girls to get their numbers and containers. So Manukau applying plenty of pressure right now, and they're going to go right edge. Ball is out. Might have a double knock-on in there. We wait for confirmation from our referee, and I think it is indeed a double knock-on. And again, Manukau chancing their arm a little bit, but the execution just a little bit off.
Everyone sort of slowed down a wee bit, you know, even after their short break at the half-time mark. And as you can see there, the Manukau girls are washing themselves in the water pools that have been supplied by the heavy downfall. And the wall, now the ball's getting cleaned. Perfect.
Finding a silver lining in the pretty dreadful conditions down here at Cornwall Park, although it could be worse. It's not too cold, there's not too much wind around, so nothing like what we encountered at Northcote the other day, Troy, when we were out at Birkenhead War Memorial Park for the SAS Fox Memorial Clash. Northcote getting up for a really good victory in that one. And well, the Tigers, they've been on fire the last few weeks, went into round 13 with 3 wins behind them, which has pretty much lifted them completely out of relegation danger. Unfortunately had a loss yesterday to PtChevVManukau, and by all accounts from Maddie, who was there, just probably overrun a little bit late in the game. Maddie, you thought?
Yeah, they had a great first half. It was neck and neck, and it could have gone either way, but Tigers do seem to come out second half either not very good at all or very good, and quite often they're not. They don't come out very strong in the second half. So if they picked up on that, I mean, they were right in the game.
And just tell us a little bit about your connection with the Tigers. You obviously play for Richmond, but Northcote is kind of your family club, or what's the situation there?
Yeah, so Northcote is just down the road from me, and I've known a lot of people that have played in that club. So, and a lot of my friends' partners play for that club. So quite often it's nice to go down and watch the boys. They always provide some good entertainment.
Absolutely, and there are some real classy players in that Northcote team in particular. Been very impressed with Taylor Daniels this year as I kick mud onto my colleague behind me. Sorry about that, Troy. I'm sure you'll get me back later in the commentary. But yeah, the likes of Taylor Daniels, just a real elite back rower in this competition now. They've had some real good players at the back as well. I thought Morgan Timothy Cook as well, playing some awesome footy. Anyone else jumping out for you, Maddie?
Because the Warriors had a bye this week, it meant that a lot of the players were able to come back. So the likes of Sam Cook was playing in the halves for Northcote, and I think he made quite a difference for them. He just showed some leadership and that little bit more experience. But I mean, unfortunately for the Tigers reserve side, they lost something like 72-0 because all of the NYC boys were able to come back and play for them. But yeah, no, they've definitely got some classy boys in there, and it's awesome that they're not struggling to stay in Fox this year. It looks like they're quite comfortable in there.
Yeah, and of course those results in recent weeks do pretty much lift Northcote right out of the relegation threat, which took another turn yesterday with Te Aratu getting the win. And just back to the game, we've seen a couple of loose balls there, a big hit there in the middle of the park as Point Chevalier try and, I guess, wrestle back a bit of momentum. It's been all Manukau in the opening exchanges. This will be Point Chev's first venture out of their own half, I think.
Sorry, Corey, as I'm watching the monitor here, the same as the viewers at home, as you can see, it's torrential downpour, and I think she just knocked on. The referee picked that one up, and it's just the way it is at the moment in regards to the conditions. As you can see, viewers, especially in the part of the field where they were just playing only moments ago, it's turning into a wee bit of a swimming pool over there. So not only are they trying to secure the ball, but you know, ground underfoot is starting to get very, very sloppy, and for a few moments of play there, basically the ball was getting rolled along the ground out the back line as Manukau and Point Chevalier were trying to throw the ball around. But back to the action now, as we see the big front rower from the Buccaneers offload out the back door. They're starting to throw it around again. Just need to get some momentum going forward. She's had a strong game, this girl, today.
It up on her. Boy, she's been fantastic. Easily Point Chev's best player so far through this one, playing mostly through the middle. We saw her score a good try in the first half as the rain really starts to pour down here at Cornwall Park. And Point Chevalier now, they're close. And Manukau, a real test of them here. You think if they leak here, it's probably a real
great
demoraliser. But
Great defense.
Yeah, some of the second phase, Maddie, the ball handling skills as well in these conditions, fantastic.
Well, she missed the foot just to play the ball.
And put the mock on them, unfortunately. Sorry to the Point Chev girls, I've contributed to your knock on there.
She went to play the ball and it was that wet, her foot missed it completely and just slid off the side, and the next thing she knew, she'd bobbled it forward.
We did sort of glance over the defence there, Maddie. Manukau, you know, they haven't had much go their way, but really good goal line defence from them there.
Yeah, no, definitely. It looks like they've definitely improved from the first half.
You probably just didn't catch that off the screen there, guys. One of the girls had to pull her shirt up to wipe mud out of the girl's eyes. I think coming into the lock position, she obviously had a couple of panda eyes there full of mud pies and couldn't see. And she's been quite strong, the Buccaneer girl, off the back of that scrum.
So the Magpies now working it out, about 5 metres off their line. Phyllis Rucken has been really good as well for the Magpies. Strong out there in the centres, diffused a couple of dangerous situations for the Manukau girls. And look, this game is far from over at 14 points to 0. They can turn it around, the Magpies girls. They've already shown they've got a lot of character. Maddie highlighted their goal line defence before, which is not easy to keep turning up in those situations when not a lot else is going your way. So Manukau showing plenty to like here, and we see a little bit of a stretch play back in towards the middle of the ruck, but good line speed from the Point Chevalier girls. And again, that defensive organisation standing out for them. Plenty of talk, led by their captain, as Manukau inch up towards halfway. And they need a penalty or maybe a Point Chev drop here just to kind of get them into some good ball situations. A really good carry forward there, up over halfway by Manukau. And out towards the left edge, and it's a sort of driven kick just scuffed off the side of the boot there from Murphy at the back. and Point Chev will start this set about 40 metres out from their line.
You know, one of the things, guys, I've got to really admire around the women's rugby league match here today, and especially the you know, the main game that we're going to be looking at, Matty, it's fair to say these girls are going to smash each other for 40 minutes. Do they have ice time? Do they have recovery time? Because tomorrow everyone's going back to work.
Yeah, that's quite a good point, actually. I think that's what's cool about the women's game, is that we go out there and we smash each other for 40, 80 minutes, but unlike the boys, we don't have a whole day to recover and get ready for work.
Well, I'm going to add to that. Some of these people aren't going to have recovery time or ice. They're going home after this to cook meals for their family, or to do the dishes or start cleaning up. So, you know, you've really got to admire, you know, the women in league. I mean, this isn't an easy day for anybody playing out here in this weather. And once they've finished playing 80 minutes of football, to now go back home and, you know, get the Sunday roast on, do the vacuuming, make sure the sheets are all clean and tidy, and, you know, the kids are set with the washing ready for school tomorrow. That's a big ask, man. My hat's off.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, lucky for myself, I only have to worry about myself at the moment, but there's definitely a lot. There's a lot of mums in the Richmond Roses team. I can speak for them because I know they do, and lots of them have to bring their kids down to training, and on the wet nights they open up the club for them. But they do. They have more to worry about than just turning up and playing. So yeah, I do. I take my hats off to them as well.
Yeah, Troy, no, that's a massive effort, mate. Seriously.
You're talking about some of the sacrifices. I remember speaking to WIL PtChevVManukau a couple of years ago, and WIL basically flipped her whole life around to pursue her Kiwi Ferns dream at that time. She changed her job, and I think you know, she kind of mentioned to me that she had a number of kind of family obstacles to overcome as well to fully commit herself to that dream. So it's really awesome what some of these girls do, and I guess it's easy for us to lose track of the sacrifices that some of them are making. And of course, those sacrifices are made in the men's game as well. We see a lot of particularly young guys pack up and leave their families at 13, 14 years of age as well. So. But that's what it takes, you know, to if you want to be in the very best, it takes sacrifice, and certainly these ladies today showcasing plenty of it, and well, it's hardly a dream day to be out playing footy.
The Manukau number 10, who's just waltzed into the screen there, is probably thinking the same thing. Head up, love. Come on, let's get into it.
We got a look before, Troy, from the Point Chevalier winger, and it was...
oh, great hit.
I dare say it's not her favourite game, Maddie. Just a little look of disgust, I guess, mud all through the eyes as well.
Yeah, Point Chev, the winger, she's taking the ball up now. She actually used to play for our Richmond team. She played with us for a number of years, and I'm not too sure, but I think she's 50, 58 or 55. Yeah, she's been playing for a long time, and she just moved to Point Chev.
Okay, we've just added more complexity to this game, Corey. So not only are we cooking, cleaning, looking after children, playing 80 minutes of football, but we're also playing well past 40.
Yeah, pretty incredible. And I mean, even when you look at the Kiwi Ferns squad, some of the girls we were talking about earlier are entering their 4th World Cup at the end of this year. Just amazing, you know. You imagine if a male player did that, well, we'd be front page news and all over the TV. So pretty cool, the longevity of some of these girls, and you know, you mentioned the reduced recovery times and all that sort of thing, so pretty amazing what they're able to do. But a little knock on there.
Little knock on, she played the ball and it didn't move. It was just stuck in the mud. And look, and I'm sort of, whilst I'm sitting next to our commentary team here today, they're watching the action live as we all are. I'm just sort of keeping an eye on the actual screen and what the viewers are watching at home. And at the moment, it's not so much downpour out there, but ladies and gentlemen, you've got to understand the field out there is so heavy, so wet.
I think that's one of the really cool things, is that, you know, that the women's game, we only play for the love of the game. I mean, you know, the boys can play knowing that they've got the chance of making NRL and, you know, pursuing it as a career. But for women's at the moment, we play purely for the love of the game. We still have to work as well, you know, to make money and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool thing that this many women like to play just purely for the love of the game.
And I do understand it's changing a little bit now, but you hear stories about, I think, the previous World Cups where the girls literally had to bring their own lunches into camp, and you were bunking down together, like pretty crazy. You know, it's hardly a luxurious kind of trip when you go away for World Cups as well. Yeah,
no, definitely. Some of the stories that I've heard was that, you know, the girls were fundraising and paying their own way there. So not only were they forking out money, but they also missed the opportunity to work to get money. So yeah, it was a big thing for them to commit, which is an awesome thing as well.
And if there are any businesses out there who are looking to support Women's Rugby League, I understand quite a few of the girls are still looking for sponsorship for the World Cup at the end of the year, Maddie. There's obviously a huge cost involved in going over there, which obviously the NZRL will be helping out with, but you guys are always looking for more sponsors?
Yeah, definitely. So we're really lucky at the moment that NZRL has taken us on board. So at the moment they are funding us to get over there. But I mean, the girls do still have to take, I think it will be close to 4 weeks off work, unpaid. So yeah, definitely if there's anyone out there wanting to sponsor us, that'd be awesome.
How does that go down with work when you send the old email that, hey, I'm going to need a month off at the end of the year, and you know, how does that tend to go down?
You know, a lot of workplaces are actually really supportive because we are representing our country, but I'm really lucky with work. I've already mentioned that hopefully, I'm working towards the World Cup and wanting to take the time off, and they're really good about it. But it is hard for some workplaces, especially the smaller businesses. 4 weeks is a long time for someone to be away.
What do you do, Maddie? Sorry to break in on there. Well,
I work at the radio station at Flavour for NZME.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's awesome working there.
Well, you can do some live links over there, and the tuition that you've had today from Corey and myself, I think you'll be coming along nicely.
Yeah, Troy, I think she's teaching us a few lessons. if anyone's teaching lessons here, Maddie slotted straight into the commentary team, and great to have her here as well. And a big thank you to...
got promoted and left us.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. But fantastic to have the ladies down here joining us for the commentary, and a big thanks to Georgia as well, who gave her time earlier when she had a game this afternoon. She'll be, looks like, warming up over on the backfield now, or that may not actually be the Richmond ladies, so wait to confirm that when we do have a few games going on around here at Cornwall Park. But we are not far now from the feature game of the day, which is going to see the Richmond Roses take on the Manurewa Wahinis, and it's going to be a fantastic game, I think, made all the more intriguing by the conditions now, so the middle battle becomes that bit more important. Some really big name players taking the field for both teams, so looking forward to that one. But in the meantime, Troy, we're starting to see this game probably open up a little bit and a bit of second phase coming in.
Yeah, and she showed good ball retention there. She was looking to offload. She had probably 3 or 4 seconds to let it go, but there was no support play. They've managed to move it to the right edge now, and they've shifted along. Strung together a couple of good passes. As you can see, the Pirates, Buccaneers, are starting to get a wee bit more shape on their attack, and maybe they've got their second wind now as they blow into the Manukau Magpies down here inside their danger zone.
It's a big high ball out towards the wing, a nightmare one, which is taken beautifully out in the corner.
We're not sure. Is he going to award that?
Wow.
Yes, he is.
And Maddie, you're perhaps best to talk us through that one. What skills to take that one?
Oh, that was awesome. She went up in the air. I thought he was maybe going to say that was a knock on, but no, it was awesome. She jumped up. That was a great kick, crossfield kick, and the vision to jump up and grab that ball, because she did have one of the Manukau girls going up as well, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome try there for the Point Chevalier ladies, which extends their lead out to 18-0 with kick to come, but really good to see those dynamic skills, I guess, on display despite the conditions. And we saw it as well in the under-17s game, Maddie, lots of short interchanging of passing, the stepping as well, so really good to see those, I guess, fundamental skills coming out. And well, Troy, you kind of touched on it earlier, it's the easiest way to play rugby league sometimes, rather than going through the middle of the park and taking the hits. Maybe a little bit of footwork at the line or a little pass can open the team up. So good stuff there from Point Chevalier, and the conversion is low and to the left, so it will remain 18 points to 0. The Point Chevalier Pirates leading the Manukau Magpies, and we've got about 20 minutes remaining in this, our second game of the live stream extravaganza down here at Cornwall Park, brought to you live and free by the Auckland Rugby League. If you're tuning in right now, give it a share on Facebook, give it a retweet, share it with family and friends. It's great to have so much of our top-level women's talent down here today playing.
Even the kicking tee looks depressed out there as it's waiting to be mounted with the Steeden football. And Maddie, as the Manukau team start to stroll up to halfway, because they're not breaking a sweat now to come and reset, after a team's been relentless and you're having points racked on you, and you can see the body language has changed a wee bit, what is the advice? What's the chat that you'd be trying to bring to them now? Do you look to the leader? Do you look to some inspiring play? What's the moment that turns it around?
Well, a credit to them. I mean, it's been 20 minutes and they've held Point Chev out for a good 20 minutes, so the defence has definitely picked up. But I think this next set is going to be crucial. They need to make sure that they put all their efforts into this next defensive set.
It's hard to get up though, eh? They're coming back now to kick off. And everyone mentally fatigued, and whatever's been said down there after the first try, the second try, the third try, you know, right now, this is, I suppose, it's now or never. You know, the clock's going to be against them as well, and it would be nice to see the Manukau Magpies get one on the board.
Yeah, definitely.
Just we look up, Troy, directly in front of us, we've got one Manukau player who does not have a speck of dirt on her, so not too sure what's gone on there, if there's been a change.
It'll be her round.
Yeah, I dare say if she has been playing the full 80 minutes, something's gone wrong there. Maybe.
No, Maddie, that's a winger. It's a winger, Maddie. Hey, you always look that good, don't you?
Look good, play good.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So back to it we go.
Great
And
running. That
really
girl's been
run.
so strong all day. I mean,
up
big
up
ups.
the middle of the park.
And look, she basically slid on her back for her extra metre there.
Everyone counts. Manukau getting their numbers. Really good to see the Magpies girls still with that intensive defensive intensity, I should say. Get in there in numbers to try and shut down this Point Chev team. A little juggle there from Tal. Turns it back inside.
I think it's the Bay Roskill young girls to our left. They look like they've had their shower and they're back ready to support this next game.
Yeah, and rocking the nice hoodies as well, so a big shout out to the Bay Roskill girls. And there we go, yeah, they're leaving nothing to the imagination in terms of letting us know where they're from, but so cool to see so many of the Auckland clubs represented down here, Maddie, involved in both the 15s and 17s, and good to see the clubs kind of embracing it and actively kind of recruiting girls for their teams as well.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome for the women's game as well. Because the women's game's only getting bigger and bigger, so the more girls that we can get involved, the better.
And big thank you and big ups to Mike Farrelly, farrellyphotos.co.nz, bringing the action shots from today and also team photos from around the Auckland region. In regards to getting the best photos for your team this year, contact Mike Farrelly.
So Manukau now with a fair bit of work to do, and look, there's still time in this one to reverse an 18-point gap, but unfortunately the Southside ladies just haven't really been able to show anything in attack so far. Of course, that can turn around. A good carry there out of yardage, the outside back starting to get involved.
She's done some good work today as well and sort of you know, made her presence felt. She's had a couple of good strong carries.
I think in fairness to the winger before, who we pointed out is very clean, I think that may have been Manukau's interchange player, so we won't accuse her of
again, as Maddie will tell you, Corey, as Maddie will tell you, she's wearing number 2 and she looks like she's all set and ready to go out to dinner tonight.
So kick charge down there from
I don't
point.
even think her boots have got mud on.
And it's, you leave her alone, Troy. She's about to get involved with a big carry, I can tell, as play comes out towards this left edge. And a bit of a fortuitous one for Manukau there, Maddie. It looked like Point Chev just charged the kick down, so 6 again, but they probably need a bit of luck, the Manukau girls, if they're going to turn this around.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's one of the first times that they've been in the attacking end, so hopefully they can come up with something.
So here they go now, the Magpies girls, and they come out towards this left edge, and they've got a numbers advantage if they can use it. The big number 10 carry close to the line, still going, looking to promote the ball, perhaps wisely holds on to it. Pretty close to the line now, and you wonder if Ngati has a little look from dummy half. Instead decides to shuffle it on back towards the left.
There's
Not
the
sure.
two.
There's your number 2.
That was the direction to go in.
And she's been cushioned outside the sideline and carried over.
Still doesn't have any mud on it.
No, I was going to say they've found the one bit of clean grass in the whole park. And our poor old mate out here on the left edge. We've got the Bay Roskill girls now trying to get on the television cameras and enjoying their moment in the sun. Well, not really the sun, but think of another euphemism for that one.
And just as there is a little break, you know, please join us. The big game's yet to come, along with the big thunder that's rolling in over the back of us. As the teams are warming up now, we've got the Richmond Roses against the Manurewa Wahinis. Next week, Saturday, big match. Point Chev Pirates will be heading down to the Lions Den, and they'll be up against Mount Albert coming out of Fowles Park, and that's going to be a cracker match. 2 p.m. next Saturday. And
how good has the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership been this year, Troy? We've covered the whole part of the second round so far and been some absolutely fantastic games, even for those teams kind of closer to the bottom of the ladder, I guess. So really looking forward to that one. As we've got looks like a Manukau player down and back play. Time is off while we attend to that, and probably a well appreciated rest, particularly for the Magpies girls.
And just as there is a break in the traffic, as we're sort of talking and catching up, and I know Grant can hear us up there as he's standing out in the elements of today. We're going to try and grab a couple of the coaches at the end of this match, and depending on how it goes, ladies and gentlemen, we may have to shoot that on the fly, either inside here as opposed to out there.
That would be much appreciated.
Yep. Says Maddie, who is a winger, ladies and gentlemen, and does not go out in the rain or the wet or the mud.
If you are a winger watching at home, we apologise for the clear bias my colleague is showing towards our speedsters on the flanks. But
don't you worry, Mr. Middleman's going out there to go and get the coaches. Mr. Middleman's been going out there all day.
So it looks like we are going to get play restarted here.
Back into the action, yep.
And it's been a tough old day at the office for the Manukau Magpies so far. Still time to turn this one around a little bit. The Bay Roskill girls to our left, braving the conditions. Good to see a good crowd turnout down here despite all the rain and the wind, which is starting to come up now as Manukau spill a ball. That's not what they needed at this stage of the game. And a big palm off there, I think, from Rapana, who's still going. So a really good carry forward there. Some of the point Chev middles have really stood up today. Little dart out of dummy half here, and this is where the tired defensive line starts to come into it a little bit more. Good yardage there, post contact, driving the legs, getting up over halfway, and you would think they look to come out towards this right edge here now, and if they go far enough, they've got a numbers advantage once again. A little bit of second phase there, so some nice footy being played here from Point Chevalier, and they're into a bit of space. We do apologise for not being able to bring you some of the players' names, but literally almost, I would say, all but one of the jerseys, and we're not going to say which jersey, Troy Hardy, is covered in mud, and we can't make out the numbers, so we do apologise if you're watching at home and we're not able to identify the players. And I dare say it may be a similar case in our feature game of the day, although in the early exchanges hopefully we'll be able to grab a couple of girls' identities, and it will help having Maddie around as well, who of course knows all of the girls from her Kiwi Ferns stuff, and also the Richmond girls where she plays her club footy.
Yeah, it's been a big day today, ladies and gentlemen, not just for this team, but for the game that's about to follow. And as we alluded to earlier in the live stream, you know, these are mums, wives, hard workers, still got to front up tomorrow to go to work. And just seriously, you've got to take your head off to them after 80 minutes of smashing one another. You know, then basically the day isn't over. And especially if you've got kiddies, you know, they've got to get prepared and ready for school tomorrow. And I just, you know, unbelievable the amount of effort and hard work that goes into this.
There's your number 2, Troy, with a carry. Even a penalty.
She's earned the penalty. Fantastic.
Why, because they put a muddy hand on that jersey? They've blown it up. As I've just gone back to looking at the screen, and it really doesn't tell the tale on how hard it's blowing down out there.
Yeah.
And it's certainly starting to settle in, and you heard moments ago when I said there was thunder rolling in over the back. There's probably about 20 minutes away where I think we're actually going to get introduced to the perfect storm.
I think the weather's going to play a big part in this next game as well, eh? It's going to be a middles game, and the likes of Brewood, they do like to chuck the long ball, but I don't think that they're going to be able to do this in this next game. It's really going to be a fight through the middle.
And Corey sort of mentioned earlier, you know, we've got 10 Ferns in that match. Who's going to be the strike? Who's going to be the person you're going to be looking for as a strike weapon on both sides, Manny?
Oh, definitely, as we talked about, Serena Clark at the back for Manurewa. She's amazing. She always shows some class in all the big games. So definitely looking out for her. And, of course, our friend Georgia. She's amazing.
Georgia who?
Georgia Howe.
Oh, right.
She's leading the Richmond Roses around.
She'll love playing in this weather, won't she? See what I did there?
Oh, no, she's amazing. She's good at leading the girls around, and quite a good organiser as well. So she's a great one to look out for as well.
Big shout out to our Hardy supporters down here on the sideline despite the conditions. We've got some old school T-Pain playing, which is nice, and plenty of people out despite the rain. So a big thank you to everyone who has come out today, and if you are tuning in, big thank you as well for supporting the Auckland Rugby League live streams, and particularly the growth of Women's Rugby League, as Manukau kick down towards the corner, and it's a good kick return there, and that part of the field in particular, Troy, looks like there's a bit of flooding there. And
yeah, mate, you can see when the I've been watching the monitor, and when the girl, there you go, she just swam out. She was going to run out, but ladies and gentlemen, they're both swimming out. And as she replaces the aqua lung now and plays the ball with her flipper, the ball is now heading out along the back line. Great offload there and a great run.
Oh, the tackle though. What a great last man tackle there. I think from the fullback for the Magpies.
That was Aqua Lady.
Aqua Lady.
On the ball. Hard to keep retention. You really, this sort of, and I think you mentioned it earlier, Matty, they've got to hold it for 6, complete their sets and try and mount some pressure. And if there's, you keep spilling it all the time, just keeps diffusing all of the pressure that you're trying to mount on the opposition.
Even the kicking game coming up in this next game, I don't think anyone's going to be able to kick it along the ground. As you said, it looks like it's flooding out there, so the ball stopped straight away, so a lot of the kicks are going to have to go to the sky.
Good call. How would you like to be out there today, you know, collecting balls out of the sky coming down on your flank?
Oh, it's going to be tough. It's hard catching high balls on a good day, let alone when it's pouring down with rain, so big ups to the wingers and fullbacks today.
Good little run there.
Yeah. Some solid contact as well from Point Chev.
Oh.
And that's 1, 2, 3 beaten. Still looking to promote the ball, so really good stuff there from Manukau. As we head into the final sort of 11 minutes of this one. And we are waiting the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Richmond versus Manurewa. A highly anticipated clash, which we have been building towards all day, and we've seen some great action across the 2 live streamed games so far out here at Cornwall Park in Auckland. So play resumes, and another really good carry through the middle of the park.
She's been awesome today, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's Faith Rapana who was on the ball just then. A little hard to make out, as we mentioned, with the numbers, but yeah, a number of long-range runs, Maddie, and some stinging hits in the middle of the park as well, and probably that's been the key difference for Point Chev for me. The middle forwards have been really good.
Yeah, no, she's been awesome. Just awesome carry straight up the middle of the park.
So we've got a little indiscretion, I think, in the play of the ball here. And a little talking to from our referee, and a big shout out to the Auckland referees who have come out. We've got about 10 or 11 ladies now as part of the Auckland Referees Association. And good to see the guys out here as well today. Some of them backing up from doing games yesterday. So a big thank you to all of you for your dedication today. The service much appreciated. Now as Point Chev promoted a little bit of second phase close to the line, and they're right on the line looking to perhaps ice this result. Currently with an 18-point lead, which probably doesn't reflect their dominance in this game. Point Chev as they come out towards the right, but Manukau getting there in numbers, but ultimately just run over the top of there. And I think it's Poi Lea who has gone over for the try, and the Point Chev girls really happy with that one, and fair enough. They've worked hard on that one, and that will kind of ice this result and put it beyond doubt, I guess. But credit to both teams. Maddie, Manukau have just kept trying, despite, I guess, really not having much ball, apart from at the start of the first half. They really haven't been in this half at all, have they? Yeah,
no, they've definitely not really been down the attacking end. They've been defending most of the second half. But awesome to see that they haven't given up at all.
And as we kind of build towards kickoff in the main game, the final warm-up kind of preparation will be going. Maybe just talk us through what a typical kind of prep for you guys would look like, Maddie, in terms of you know, the warm-ups you're doing and kind of how long that's all going for.
So we like to meet a couple of hours before, just so that everyone's there and ready, and then everyone will get their uniforms, and they can, some girls like to have a little bit extra warm-up, so they've got time to do that, and then we head out for a team warm-up. You can see the girls just across the park now. I think they've got brand new jackets on, actually.
Yeah, we can see the Rewa girls warming up, making their way over to the main ground, and we're not far away from kick-off in that one, and really looking forward to that clash. We've been waiting for it all day. But in the meantime, we've got the final part of this game to play out in Manukau. Well, I think they'd be pretty happy to stop playing right now. Nice and slow back to the kick-off. And if you are a girl or woman interested in playing the game or refereeing or coaching, all the information available on the Auckland Rugby League website. All the contacts there for the clubs and the teams they have. So do jump on there. We were lucky enough to speak to some of our female referees earlier today and hear about, I guess, why they enjoy being involved in the game, and also, well, no doubt our youngest referee, young Imogen, which was really cool to hear from her. But no matter, I guess, what role you're looking to take on in rugby league, there's something for you in Auckland. So jump on to aucklandleague.co.nz, take a look at some of the options available. Lots of coaching courses and refereeing courses available as well, and I think a couple of specific women coaching courses as well, with the introduction of these tournaments, the under 15s and under 17s girls, and also the college rugby league. So really cool to see. It's a short restart now from Manukau, is fielded by Point, and they take it up over halfway. This is a really good run, and she's gone 20 metres with players all over her. That's a fantastic run there, up towards the 40. We've got 5 minutes remaining in this one, the second clash of the day here at Cornwall Park in Auckland. And it's been all Point Chevrolet. Manukau, to their credit, have put up a fair fight, defended a number of sets, camped up against their own line. Do stay with us post-match. We are going to talk to both of the captains. So Point Chev here with the little dart out of dummy half, very close to the line. And looking to finish this game on a high with another try, 24 points to 0. The Pirates lead as Tao now directs a little bit of traffic. Nice kick across. Manukau back there in numbers, and it's going to drift dead, so the execution just a little bit off there. But Maddie, Point Chev at times in this game have really come to life with their second phase as well. They've split the line open a couple of times with little offloads and that sort of thing. So good to see, given that it is obviously so wet down here and the ball's covered in mud. But still looking to promote that second phase play.
Yeah, no, definitely. Some good offloads and also some great kicks from our half. She's really tested that defense of the Manukau team.
We do apologise for that one. Maddie was on mute there. She gave a lovely analysis of some of the half play in this one, but unfortunately you missed out on that one. But I guess the gist of it was, Maddie, that pretty impressive that Point Chevrolet have been able to promote such second phase play, and also good leadership, I think, from Rebecca Tao in the halves, who's directed traffic pretty well.
Yeah, and she's definitely testing that defence with her cross-field kicks.
So we enter now the final few minutes of this one. We're now just minutes away from kick-off between Richmond and Manurewa.
We've got a little bit of sun coming out too. Hopefully it stays for the main game.
And plenty of vocal support still going on from the sidelines, which is really cool to see. And there is a good crowd turnout here as well. We can see the Pirate flag over in the corner in the Point Chev tent as well. So big shout out to those people for coming out and supporting the ladies today in less than favourable conditions, as Point Chev now work it out a yardage. And we've got about 2 minutes remaining in this one. The result certainly beyond doubt, and Point Chev, well, they're well deserving of their lead, 24 points to 0. They've executed nicely in attack a few times, as well as a couple of impressive goal line stands where their defence was nice and organised. We see a few sore bodies out there for the Manukau ladies, a few limping back into the line here, and I guess they will be looking forward to that full-time siren. So Tao now on the ball, and we highlighted before, it's been pretty impressive with the way she's kind of directed traffic. A nice little turn back on the inside there. Ball has spilt out, and we'll get a knock on, which will chew a little bit more time off the clock, and probably looking at the last set of the game here at Cornwall Park as the sun comes out. And everything is shaping for an excellent game here, so hopefully the sun can stay out and we can have, I guess, at least dry conditions from the sky. Well, it's no escaping the fact that the field's going to be wet and there's going to be plenty of mud around, but I still think we'll see a high-quality game from the two teams in the feature match, and really looking forward to that one. We're only minutes away now from that kicking off, so do stay with us on the live stream. But that will do us. Congratulations to the PtChevVManukau Pirates, 24 points to 0 victors over the Manukau Magpies. And Maddie, looking at that, it's probably a fair result. PtChev dominated all but probably 10 minutes of that game.
Yeah, no, definitely. They were definitely dominating. They dominated through the middle. Manukau did have some moments of brilliance, but I think they just needed that through a lot more of the game. I mean, it's hard to win a game when you don't really have much ball, but the times that they were attacking, they did show some brilliance, but they definitely need to get their hands on the ball a little bit more if they're wanting to win a game.
So all the best to both teams going forward. Do stay with us. We're going to hear from the captains of both teams in a minute, I think. Myself and Maddie will be having a quick chat with them as we build towards the big one. And we can see the Richmond ladies preparing over on the far corner, and it looks like a pretty organised kind of warm-up. We saw the Rewa ladies jogging past us before, doing a little bit of work on the ball now as well. And I guess, Maddie, that's pretty important to get on the ball early in the warm-up in these conditions and get used to playing with the wet ball.
Yep, definitely get a feel for the ball, because it is going to be slippery and it is going to be wet. So important for both teams to maybe get those errors out of the way in the warm-up.
So some great sportsmanship here from the ladies, all congratulating each other, and at the end of the day it's a tough game, rugby league, but we've all got work tomorrow, so good to see, and a bit of a slide through the middle of the park as well from one of the point ladies.
So Maddie here with ARL TV. I've got the coach of the Manukau team here. Obviously not the result you wanted, but how did you think the girls went today?
I thought our leaders did awesome, so all year we're just working on getting better each week, and in comparison to last week against Te Aratū, the girls have improved, so we're really happy with that.
Yeah, they did have some moments of brilliance out there, so what are you guys going to work on for the rest of the season?
Basically, for the rest of the season, we're just working on basics, so learning how to catch and pass, teaching the girls how to tackle, and just basically teaching the whole game of league.
It's cool that Manukau girls haven't been in the comp for a little while, so how's it been back in the comp for you guys?
Oh, it's fantastic, eh? So I'm originally from Manukau, so it's a touchy feeling for me to see my girls back out there and see my club colours back out there.
Yeah, and you've got quite a bit of experience, but you're not going to play anymore?
No, I was out for injury, so I just got my ACL done, so next year I'll definitely be back out with the girls.
Awesome, cool to see you back out there, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Excellent, and we now are going to bring Travis into the shot. Get his thoughts, coach of the PtChevVManukau Pirates, and I guess the first one, mate, a pretty relieving result, I guess, to get such a big win on a day like this.
Yes, good result. Considering the conditions out here today, really muddy, so really hard to control the ball, but pleased with the result today.
The way your middles kind of dominated that one, they really came to life as the game went on. Pretty impressive.
Yes, we got a couple of good props out there, running strong props, and it's good to get our fringes running well off the back of them.
One of them in particular, Faith Rapana, was excellent today. A number of breaks. Tell us a little bit about Faith's style of game, and I understand she travels a fair way to play as well.
Yes, Faith actually comes from Tuakau each week with her two sisters and plays for us. She's an experienced player for a team like us who's a new team, so it's good to have an experienced player like her out there.
Some good sportsmanship shown at the end there. Really nice to see Manukau back in the competition, and on a day like this to celebrate Women's League, mate. It's all good.
Yes, and it's good work. It's good for the team, good for the game, to develop the game in conditions like this and a day like this, so it's awesome.
Tough conditions for your girls, but they promoted second phase pretty well. You must have been pretty happy with that, Fasid?
Yeah, we've been concentrating on a lot of second phase work off the back of our forwards, and it's good and pleasing to see some of that come off today.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So a big thank you to the respective coaches for joining us there, and we will now take a very short break before we get into our build-up for the main game, Richmond versus Manurewa. So don't go far, go and grab a drink, and we will be back in a few minutes.